Hi, everyone. You're never quite sure what to wear to a Pearson event. And you look at how fancy people are here. And as Arno said, I had to exchange my yellow vest and safety hat about 2 hours ago because things are never boring at Pearson College. But as Arno said, hello and welcome everybody to the 2024 end of year ceremony. Make some noise again for yourselves and for the special day that today is. We always know in our isolated location that we're going to have a captive audience for students, faculty, and staff, but we're never quite sure who's going to be able to make it here from family, friends, supporters, alumni, and we're thrilled today that there are so many people who made this journey because the people who are sitting around the outside mostly were your first teachers. So please help me thank them for making this journey today and being part of this special day that we have here for you today. I was walking with a student earlier today, and she said, it's kind of sad we only get to meet the parents of our friends on one day a year. And she's like, so many things make sense now. And I wanted to unpack that, but she was running off to finish getting ready for the ceremony today, but we should come back to that, Mattia. I'm curious specifically who you were talking about. End of year celebrations are always a little bit bittersweet, because on one hand, we're saying congratulations to you as a group for your individual and collective efforts to getting to this point. But the other hand is getting ready to wave goodbye, at least for now, as you get ready to leave this special place with this special group of people, right? I hope you all brought tissue and Kleenex, because I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of mixed emotions today. As we often hear and saw today, Pearson is a different kind of place. It's not meant to replicate the rest of the world. It's meant to be a model for what the rest of the world can be. And that's not easy. It's really not easy. In 1957, when Lester B. Pearson, the former prime minister and the founder of the school, was giving his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, he made the comment that how can we expect the world to understand one another if they don't know one another? And that's the goal of what we're trying to do here and have been doing for the last 50 years. You got to know one another. And I think what you probably discovered in putting together this really diverse mix of people is that when you put a lot of people together, that's not the goal. The goal doesn't end there. In fact, when you mix people and you don't do the hard work to get to know yourself and them better, it's actually not a positive. Mixing people through globalization over the last 25, 30 years created and widened a lot of gaps that either existed already or were exacerbated by those mixing of people. But here, what we've been trying to do these last 2 years is learn how to live in a pluralistic society where the diversity that's here, the diversity of thought, the diversity of feelings, the diversity of emotions, the diversity of backgrounds is seen as a strength when it comes together. And during that last 2 years, or for 1 year, if you're talking to the year 50s, for 2 years for the class year 49, you probably learned that it's really hard to get it right. And that's okay, because that's where the learning occurs too. So how are you going to take what you learned here in our semi-utopian UWC and take that out to the Muggle world, where not everybody is a UWC person? And alumni who are on the outside realize that that post-Pearson slump sometimes comes because we realize the whole world isn't as dedicated to trying to make this place more equitable for everybody as we are. So how do you do that? How do you go out into the wider world? Well, I'm going to offer you two quotes, two pieces of advice. And there's students here. Now, for parents that are here, alumni, you know this previously. For our students here, I felt like this year I got more advice than I gave from our thoughtful, sharing students who have so many opinions on how one should do their job and run this place. And I thank you for that. Thank you for the learning journey that I've been on this year. I mostly mean that, actually. But I'm going to offer you two pieces of advice because you're a captive audience and you can't leave until I stop. So here are two quotes, two pieces of advice. One comes from an author, Stephen Covey, in a book that was written called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in it, his first rule is seek first to understand, then to be understood. It feels like in the world right now where access to information and the sharing of opinions with a few taps of a screen, it's so easy to get caught up in talking first without understanding. And I heard once somebody told me that we were made the way we were with 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we could listen twice as much as we spoke. And in 2024, it feels like sometimes we speak more than we listen. So that's my first piece of advice. Go out into the world, to those muggles as the non-UWC grads, and listen more than you speak. And then when you have something to say it with conviction. It's tough to have a sense of patience and impatience at the same time, but that's one of the challenges. So seek first to understand, then to be understood. The second one comes from a poet and an activist named Maya Angelou. And she wrote something to the effect of, do all the good you can until you know better, and when you know better, do better. And what my hope is over the course of this last 2 years is while you were here, you became a truer, more beautiful, authentic version of yourself. We talked on the lawn 8-9 months ago about there is no preset idea about what a student coming out of UWC is supposed to be like. There's no progressive to conservative continuum that you're supposed to fall on. Sometimes it feels like there is, but there's not meant to be. What your job is to come here and take your thoughts and opinions and bash them up against some others to really decide what it is you believe and what you are going to stand up for, what you're going to fight for, what you're going to be impatient for. And my hope is that you've done that while you were here, you practiced finding out more about who you are so that as you know better, you can do better, right? Now, what does that look like out in the real world? Well, I hope that means that the next time that there's a conflict that starts or we're in the middle of, that instead of jumping to conclusions about who's right and wrong, you reach out to somebody that you're reminded of during your time here at Pearson, and you make sure that they are okay, irrespective of whether you believe the same thing they believe. That means the next time that you hear about a new law being passed that might grant some people or a group rights or take rights away, you think back to somebody who reminds you of who that law is going to impact, and you reach out to them to make sure they're okay, even if you don't feel the same way as they do. Go out there and focus on people, focus on ideas, take care of one another, take care of yourselves, all right? Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Know better, do better. We've talked about be better all year, right? Shouldn't be that unfamiliar to everybody. Different context then, it's a little bit nicer now. Before I turn it over and we spend the rest of our time really focused on you by having people come up and have a very special group award the certificates for today, I want you to join me in thanking lots of different people. And I've written these down because I didn't want to forget them. The idea that it takes a village to raise human beings is never really more true than we have right now when we look at all these people that come together for 207 students from almost 100 countries, right? But yeah, sure, that's great, yeah. So here are the thank yous. And students, your job is to make a little bit of noise after each one of these groups, okay? So here we go. Thank you to all of the incredible admin, support, and maintenance staff who make things happen largely in the background. From creating transcripts and driving boats to making our food, cleaning our campus, and fixing things when they break. Thank you. I left off the part that when you break them, they fix them, but it's your ceremony. Thank you to our communication, alumni, and fundraising team who helped tell our stories, keep our community united and connected, and raise money to fund this very unique program. Thank you. Thank you to the health center, the counseling team, the well-being team for being there when more or different kinds of help was needed. Thank you. To the faculty who guided you through 2 tough academic years, no matter what courses you were taking, so you could create a pathway from here to wherever you hope to go. Special shout out to Sherry, our DP coordinator and exam wizard. I will say that I hope to never again get a call over a walkie-talkie to ask me to ask the fire department if students can go back and to finish their exam. Let us never do that again. But let's not skip over the rest of the faculty who is there side by side to take you from where you started to wherever you are today. So another round of applause for our faculty. Thank you. Almost there. Thank you to the house parents, our advisors, our buddies and residents who are here as your family when your own can't be. Thank you. 2 more to go. Thank you to our leadership team, including Arno, who's just changed his name back, Ty, Angela, Shelley, Carly, Rebecca, Shay, Anselm, and Candace, and more who wear many hats to support the supporters. Thank you. And last but not least, who am I missing? No, yeah. Thanks to me, everybody. I appreciate that. No. Stop. Thanks to you, Santi. There we go. All right. And last but certainly not least, thank you, year 49. No. Stop. You don't know why I'm thanking you. It's not for looking so good today, although you do look good. Thanks. I had to dust off a jacket just so I could look as good as Ellery. In all sincerity, thank you, year 49, for being brave enough to leave your communities to come together here. You have shaped and been shaped by Pearson, and I hope that we are both better for it. We wish each and every one of you the best of luck in the adventures ahead. We are so excited to see where those adventures take you. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another. Be here in the moment for all those practices on Monday mornings and mindfulness sessions and ice baths. Try to be present to soak it all in, because you deserve it. Thank you, everybody.